Hey, welcome back. In this episode, we're going to learn about Azure Monitor. Azure Monitor is a full stack monitoring service in Azure that provides a complete set of features to monitor your Azure resources in addition to resources in other clouds and on premises. The Azure Monitor data platform collects data into logs and metrics where they are being analyzed together using a complete set of monitoring tools. As soon as you create an Azure resource, Azure Monitor is enabled and starts collecting metrics and activity logs which you can view and analyze in the Azure portal. With some configuration, you can gather additional monitoring data and enable additional features as well. So, what are the costs associated with monitoring? There is no cost for analyzing monitoring data that is collected by default. This includes collecting platform metrics and analyzing them with Metric Explorer, collecting activity log for analyzing it in the Azure portal, and creating an activity log alert rule. And there are no Azure Monitor costs for collecting and exporting logs and metrics, but there may be a related cost associated with the destination. Let's look into monitoring data. Resources in Azure generate logs and metrics shown in this following diagram. The first one is platform metrics. With platform metrics, numerical values that are automatically collected at regular intervals and describe some aspect of a resource at a particular time. Resource logs provide insights into operations that are performed within an Azure resource. For example, getting a secret from a key vault or making a request to a database. The content and structure of resource logs varies by the Azure service and resource type. Activity log provides insight into operations on each Azure resource in the subscription from the outside. For example, creating a new resource or starting a virtual machine. This information is about the what, who, and when for the right operations, which include put, post, and delete taken on the resources in your subscription. Some monitoring data is collected automatically, but you may need to perform some configuration depending on your requirements. So let's look at what are these specific information for each type of monitoring data. The first one is platform metrics. Platform metrics are collected automatically into Azure Monitor metric with no configuration required. Create a diagnostic setting to send entries to Azure Monitor logs or to forward them outside of Azure. The second one is resource logs. Resource logs are automatically generated by Azure resources but not collected without a diagnostic settings. The activity log is collected automatically with no configuration required and can be viewed in the Azure portal. You can access monitoring data for most Azure resources from the resource menu in the Azure portal. This will give you access to a single resources data using standard Azure Monitor tools. Some Azure services will provide different options, so you should refer the documentation for the services for additional information. Many services will include monitoring data on their overview page as a quick glance to their operation. This will typically be based on a subset of platform metrics stored in the Azure Monitor metrics. Other monitoring options will typically be available in a monitoring section of the services. Some services will provide tools beyond the standard feature of Azure Monitor. Insights provide a customized monitoring experience built on the Azure Monitor data platform and standard features. Solutions provide predefined monitoring logic built on Azure Monitor logs. If a service has an Azure Monitor insight, you can access it from monitoring in each resources menu. Access all insights and solutions from the Azure Monitor menu. You can view the activity log entries in the activity log in the Azure portal with the initial filter set to the current resource. You can copy the activity log to a log analytics workspace to access it to use it to log queries and workbooks. So let us look into the data collection in Azure Monitor. Azure Monitor collects two fundamental types of data: metrics and logs. Metrics tell you how the resource is performing and other resources that it's consuming. Logs contain records that show when resources are created or modified. This is an example diagram which gives you a high-level view of Azure Monitor. On the left are the sources of monitoring data: Azure, operating systems, and custom sources. At the center of the diagram are the data stores for metrics and logs. On the right are the functions that Azure Monitor performs when this collected data, such as analysis, alerting, and streaming to external systems. Azure Monitor collects data automatically from a range of components. These components include application data, operating system data, Azure resource data, Azure subscription data, Azure tenant data, etc. Now let us have a high-level look into what is Azure Sentinel. You can use Azure Sentinel to collect data on the devices, users, infrastructure, and applications across your enterprise. Built-in threat intelligence for detection and investigation can help reduce false positives. You can use Sentinel to proactively hunt for threats and anomalies and respond by using orchestration and automation. You can connect your data sources to Sentinel, and these sources include Microsoft services such as Office 365 and Azure Advanced Threat Protection. These sources can also include external solutions such as AWS CloudTrail or on-premises sources. The dashboard of the Azure Sentinel shows detailed information collected from your sources. And you can use playbooks to automate your response to alerts in Sentinel. Azure Security Center is another place where you can monitor these services. Azure Security Center is a service that manages the security of your infrastructure from a centralized location. You can use Security Center to monitor the security of your workloads, whether they are on premises or in the cloud. You can improve your protection against security threats, and you can use Security Center to monitor the health of your resources and implement recommendations. That concludes this episode. In the next lesson, we're going to learn about architectural best practices for reliability. I will see you on the next one. Until then, take care.